All right, let's talk about some dual recording while filming RAW on the Canon R5. I recently did a video on the dual recording capacity of the Canon R5 and the limitations and benefits of it. And one of the limitations was you cannot dual record RAW on the Canon R5. At least you can't record on both the CF Express and the SD card RAW. I had a lot of people ask me questions if you could record essentially a proxy when you were shooting in RAW and do a dual recording on the Canon R5 in a RAW format. And the answer to this is yes, you can definitely do that on the Canon R5 as long as you're okay knowing that when you're recording in RAW, if you want to dual record, one is going to be at a different resolution than the other. Now, let's go ahead and take a look how to set your camera up this to see it. And there's actually two ways that you can essentially dual record on the Canon R5 if you are shooting RAW. Let's look at the in-camera one first. Come here to the menu button and click on the first setup and you'll see record function and folder select. If I click on that, I'll have the video record options. And all I want to do is click on that. And then if you come down, you're gonna see this. Card slot 1, I can shoot RAW, and card slot 2, I can shoot an MP4. And I'll click on that, and now you are cooking with gas. So if I come back here now to my menu, you will see that if I come back to my settings, I can shoot now 8K RAW, and you'll actually see here that I have both a RAW and I can shoot in an IPB or an IPB-like method. So it's really nice to have each of those issues there. And this essentially lets you know you can shoot internally on the CF Express card in 8K RAW, and you also have an option to get a 4K IPB file there. And you can see right here, it says 8192 by 4320 RAW and 4096 by 2160 IPB. And you can set your frame rate up to 30 frames a second. So really nice to know that you can get that nice 4K file there just so you have it for both proxies or just to save file size, or honestly, maybe you just want to have a nice safety backup when you're shooting RAW. It's good to have that. And there's actually another way to do this if you have an external monitor. Let's take a look at that real quick too. Now just to know, I do have an Athens Ninja 5 here. I have a 5 Plus that's coming. It hasn't gotten here yet. So I can only show you this in 5K RAW crop and not 8K RAW. But if you have an Athens 5 Plus, you can do this exact same thing in 8K RAW, but my 5 maxes out at 5K RAW, so that's what I'm going to show you. So if you look here, I'm going to come back now and come back to my menu. And I'm just going to set this back here to, we'll just go to standard, just to make my life easier. And now once I'm back in standard, I'll come back and I want to set a couple things on my camera. The first thing is I'm going to put movie cropping on. And the main thing to remember about why I'm cropping this is because I have a Ninja 5. If you have a 5 Plus, you do not need to crop this. You can do straight 8K RAW. I don't have that, so that's what I'm doing here. Now, what I'm going to do here is come back here to HDMI RAW output on. Now, once I've set that to HDMI RAW out, you'll come back here and see if I click back on my movie record quality and I can do both RAW and IPB out. And this is really great because now what this means is that I'm recording a RAW signal up here to my Athens, either a Ninja 5 or a 5 Plus, and I'm recording internally a proxy on my camera at the same time. Just nice to have if you are using this 5 Plus, especially if you're using it for 8K RAW or 5K RAW. It's nice to know that you're recording something up here in this nice ProRes RAW up here, and you're getting a safety backup here inside your camera. Anyway guys, I hope that was helpful. I actually had a lot of you ask me questions about the specific thing, so I wanted to go ahead and answer your questions because it is so important for me when I hear back from you, and I want to make sure that I answer those questions if you have. So I hope that was helpful. Please let me know if you have any other questions or concerns about this. And yeah guys, go out there and keep on shooting, and yeah, I'll talk to you soon.